Now, I'm a little bit late with it, but I am excited to present my official September forecast for 2022. Here we are just breaking it down. We're starting out in our precipitation forecast. After that, we're going to be getting into our temperature forecast and the very, very exciting overall forecast to close things out. Now, we're taking a look out west, first things first, and we do have below normal precipitation expected for the entire western United States, even the northwest here. We are in a La Nina, and usually that would bring above normal precipitation for the northwest, but it just appears like this month is going to be a little bit more dry. Now, this is our first layer, which is our lowest confidence layer. We do have a second layer here, however, for the very, very western coast, so California, Nevada, Oregon, a little tiny sliver there of Arizona and Idaho. The Arizona one you can hardly even see. And then we can see all the way up through Oregon and Washington as well. We do have this moderately below normal precipitation expected. This just seems like an area where we're not going to have a lot of storminess rolling through until maybe the very, very tail end of the month appears a little bit more likely. Like we'll switch into some stormy activity, but it might be too little too late. Getting 1 week of precipitation after 3 weeks of dry conditions will lead you towards below normal precipitation overall. So that's why we're calling for it. Now, we do have another area of below normal precipitation expected here in the northeastern corner of the nation and even the north central regions of the nation here. We can see from the Dakotas through Minnesota, the rest of the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, down, sweeping through Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia as well. All of these areas seeing that below average precipitation, and it works its way all the way back up to the northeast and New England. These are all the areas where we just don't expect these super active storm track that move this far up into the eastern United States. The southeast, however, does look a little bit stormy. We'll take a look at it in a little while. We do see for the northeast here, we have that moderate shade of this all the way from DC, the rest of Maryland and Delaware. You take that northward through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. All of these regions, we do expect moderately below average precipitation to occur. So overall, you're probably getting the hint here. We do expect a more dry than typical September for a lot of the United States, actually. I would say a majority of the country here expected to see more dry conditions. Now, as we take a look at the above average precipitation, we can see this starts in the north central and it sweeps down through the south central United States and even into the southeastern United States. We see plenty of above normal precipitation areas here. Many different states seeing these conditions. So we're seeing all the way from the Dakotas, the very western regions of the Dakotas, that is. We see eastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, actually a majority of Colorado, and a majority of New Mexico. They're seeing the above normal precipitation, and that works its way all the way down through Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida here. Now, we do have a second layer of this as well for areas like New Mexico, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida there. And that's just, again, where we're more confident in these above average conditions as far as the precipitation is concerned. Now, we do have a very, very rare and seldom used third layer here of the above average precipitation here for Texas and Louisiana. I'm kind of cheating a little bit, I'm not going to lie. We're already a couple of days into September, obviously, and we have had quite a bit of precipitation in this region, so I kind of know how things have started out. So I am cheating a little bit, but if things continue on this way, it's pretty much locked in that we're going to have above average precipitation for Texas and Louisiana in those areas in the very, very dark greens there. So let's go ahead and move on and talk about that exciting temperature outlook. We do expect above normal temperatures overall for a majority of the areas in the western United States, and pretty much everywhere west of the Rocky Mountains is pretty much where we expect this to occur. And then also north and east of the Rocky Mountains as well. We can see for areas in eastern Montana, eastern Wyoming, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and even the Upper Peninsula of Michigan there, all in this orange shade, where we do expect some above average temperatures to prevail for a lot of these areas. There is a chance that around the third or fourth week of September, we do see things eventually cool off in this western region. That seems to be a possibility, but it seems like a majority of this month will feature the above average temperatures out west, and that's pretty much why we're calling for it. Now, as we add our next layer, you can see that we do have this darker orange layer here for Arizona, Utah, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and California. We expect above normal temperatures for all of these regions, and these are the areas where we're even further confident in these above average temperatures. It really looks like it's going to be a warmer month out west. Again, there could be a week in there at certain points where it does just, get even further above normal, but we can't guarantee that at this point. So we need to watch for that cool down at a certain point that could bring us a lot closer to normal on the month. However, it might just stay warm straight through the month. Again, the upcoming pattern is far warmer in this region, the past few days plus the week to come or so. And that's what we're the very most confident in, obviously, because that's where we're at right now. The further out you go, the less confident we get. So it can be hit or miss later on in the month. So we have to go more based on what's coming up sooner, which is the above normal temperatures. I hope that makes sense how I prioritize things like that. I'm trying to explain it as best I can. We expect below normal temperatures here in the southeastern and south central regions of the nation. You take it from Nebraska down through Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, there, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, all these stormy regions. Again, we expect above normal precipitation in these regions. This leads towards more cloudiness, which leads towards less sunniness, which leads towards less warm temperatures heading towards the ground from the sun. Obviously, the cloud blocks some of that, the cloudiness and the storminess, and that leads towards below normal temperatures. I expect this to be dynamic cooling, which means that this comes from that storminess, that cloudiness, and the precipitation all cooling down the conditions. I expect a lot of these below normal temperatures to actually be a result of that. Not necessarily a huge cold air mass over top, which I think there could be that at times, obviously. Arctic blasts, big cool downs coming through from Canada. But I think a lot of the time we're not going to have that type of an air mass over top. It's just going to be very, very stormy, and it's overall going to lead towards things being below normal in general. Now, we do have a second shade of this, as you can see, for Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Southern North Carolina, and also Florida. And these are all the areas where we just expect even further storminess, and because of that, and all the reasons I just mentioned before, even further below normal temperatures here for these states is overall what we're expecting. Now, for the exciting overall forecast for September of 2022 here, we're going to work our way from west to east. We expect some storms still in the northwestern United States. The reason I added that in is because even though we're expecting below normal precipitation, this is an area that either way we'll see some storms. So I wanted to remind you guys of that. We do expect typical snow there in that white region for Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, as well as northern Utah. We still expect our typical snow there, rest assured. We see hot and dry there for the southwest. This is an area that averages less precipitation, and there's a very decent chance that outside of a potential tropical cyclone that could impact Southern California, that's obviously an anomaly that we can't really forecast in a long-range forecast. It's going to be hot and dry outside of that for almost all of the month, if not literally all of the month, is our expectations. Now, for the south kind of four corner states, regions, Nevada, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, that's a four corner state. I don't know why I said it again. Portions of western Texas as well. All of those tan regions in there, that is where we expect very dry conditions. Not quite as hot as the west coast, but definitely going to be very, very dry for those regions. Now, cool and stormy for the south central United States, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. Cooler than normal is mostly what I should say. This is an area that will probably be hot for the month of September. They usually are, but it's going to be a little bit cooler than what's typical. Now, Arctic blasts are going to be very, very possible in these light blue regions. I expect Arctic air masses from time to time to blast down through this region and cause really intense cold fronts to take place and very, very fall-like conditions to take place. The darker blue region in there is where we're a little bit more confident in some stormy conditions, which could lead towards some more cool air, obviously that dynamic cooling, and more cold fronts coming through. So a little bit more confident there. Cool later here for this turquoise, lighter green region going on there in the southeast. Definitely cool later seems to be the trend. Things could be cooling down over time. We're going to see that dynamic cooling still with the storminess as well, but definitely some cold fronts later on are going to be more possible as those start to work their way further and further south as we work our way closer and closer to October. Cool and dry up there in the northeastern United States. Again, we expect below normal precipitation for this region, but it should be cooling down obviously pretty soon in September, as this is an area that usually cools down pretty early in the fall compared to some of our more southern states there. And last but finally not least, that pink region down there for the coast of the Gulf Coast and the southeast coast, we are watching the tropics, as September is the peak month for tropical activity, and hurricanes and tropical storms certainly are going to be something we have to watch out for along all of these coastlines. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this forecast. Let me know down below if you agree or if you liked the video. Be sure to smash the like button if you did enjoy it. And also be sure to subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.